First of all, we'd like to thank everybody for coming out this evening to this candidates night. It's a very important time of year for us in the city of Lynn. It's an election year citywide. We have candidates from school committee to your ward councilors, to your at-large councilors, even to the mayor. We're going to start with the school committee. I'm going to give you a brief outline of how things are going to go. Again, we have them in alphabetical order. Some of the main things we're looking for these candidates tonight is to give you, the voting public, an idea of who's running for public office here in the city of Lynn, what they plan to do, and what areas they represent, and how they can better the city of Lynn. So those are some of the prime questions that we're asking of these candidates. So what we're going to do is we're going to go actually have them sit here two at a time. Of course, they will answer one at a time. And they're going to start with those questions that I posed earlier. They're going to identify themselves. They're going to tell you the position that they're running for. They're going to tell you how they can improve the city of Lynn if they were elected to the office of school committee, and one thing they would do to do that. That's what we're asking of them this evening. And the other candidates will have a similar platform in which they have to follow. So, at this time, I'd like to call Cherish Casey and Mr. Castellanos. Have a seat, please. You're welcome.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Cherish Casey. I am running for school committee, and I have been here in Lynn for about 14 years. So let me give you a little background about why, okay, we have 2 minutes. So let me give you a little background about why I'm running. I was a preschool teacher for 10 years, and when I worked with children, I saw some things that I thought needed assistance as far as special needs programs for children in the schools, because while working as a preschool teacher, I was taking children from the preschool and sending them to the public schools to get some training. Also, unfortunately, while working as a preschool teacher, I was diagnosed with cancer and had to stop working. So I put myself through the School of Social Work. And when I put myself through the School of Social Work, I got involved with the community of Lynn, and I started volunteering at the Ford Elementary School. At that time, the Ford Elementary School was functioning as a community-based school. Unfortunately, that was our first community-based school, but we don't have that anymore. So within my advocacy, and if I was elected as a school committee member, I would advocate for community-based schools because I saw how they worked. Community-based schools are just partnerships between the school and community resources, and as you know, there are some resources that we need, like volunteers in the schools, because some of our classrooms are at 32 to 1. And that is an issue for me. And our schools are not fully funded, and I believe in fully funding our schools. And once again, I was just in a line with my son, buying a costume, and there was a woman standing there with her child who was autistic, and she looked at me and she said, no matter where I go, I'm engaging with people. I talk wherever I go, and she looked at me and she said, I don't know where to send my son. There's not a lot of programs for my son. If there's programs, I have to send them in the outskirts for him to get swimming lessons and various other programs. So I would like to sit and be a team player on that issue. Thank you.
You have 2 minutes.
And then the bell's going to stop, or?
2 minutes. The bell's going to sound when you have 30 seconds remaining, and the bell's going to sound again when you're finished.
Well, thank you so much for having me tonight. This is a pleasure. I only have a 2-minute pitch. It's like Shark Tank up here, so here it goes. So to begin, so I'm a product of the Lynn school system. I came here to this country when I was 3 years old. I grew up on Chatham Street on the 3rd floor apartment. Grew up with nothing. First generation, low income immigrant. I'm a Latino, came from Venezuela. For me, I'm running for Lynn School Committee. My name is Bryan Kest. I don't know, I forgot to do that part. But my background is in social work. But I started off with the Billerica House of Corrections as a substance abuse clinician. I moved over to parole. I went off into community corrections where we did treatment and treatment program to get guys back into the community. So I have about 5 years of experience in human services. Right now, I'm about to enter into a new position with Salem State University as a strategic planner, along with other boards. The goal is to create partnerships. Part of my role on the school committee is to really, provide a new perspective on how to really deal with creative solutions, because there's a lot of issues that we can attack tonight. I only got 2 minutes to discuss. One of my highlights is new schools. I think new schools is a necessity for our community, for our kids, our teachers, our families. I think we all deserve new schools, and we deserve a school committee with some experience in fundraising, and I have that background in public projects, not only through Framingham State, where I am a strategic planner there. I've been able to work on projects that generate almost $100 million. So I have experience in that background. Also, a big reason why I'm running is because when I grew up with nothing. I started from the bottom, and today I have a master's degree. I'm pursuing a PhD, and let me tell you something. I never ever give up. If you want to judge someone on character, I'm tenacious. My work ethic is unrivaled, and everybody in here knows me. They know what I'm all about. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joanna Coppola, and I'm running for school committee. My first time that I ran was 18 years ago. I have 4 children. They all went through public school and graduated from classical high school, and I was the foster parent to 19 children who also were all in the Lynn public school system. And I used to go to school committee meetings, and I was not happy with the response and things that were happening, and especially some of the ages of our buildings. And I decided to run for school committee, and so that's how I started. The 2 things that I pride myself in, I think that still the biggest issue is still we need to replace some really old schools with top-notch schools the way we did with the Thurgood Marshall. But the thing that I pride myself on is that I'm not afraid at school committee meetings to ask the tough questions. I'm not afraid to back down, and that's one thing that's really important to me. The second thing is I'm accessible to the parents. There is not a day that goes by that I do not get calls from parents, and I give unlimited time. If somebody calls and they're unhappy with something, I'm willing to talk to them and resolve it. Sometimes it can't be resolved, but at least we can come to some consensus. Sometimes things aren't always resolvable, but especially when it comes to children with special needs, I am willing to give a lot of time to help parents to understand the education plans, because they are difficult. And thank you. Like just one of your votes for school committee. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lorraine Daisy, and I'm running for the Lynn School Committee. Currently, I'm on the school committee, and I'm hoping to get re-elected. I retired from Lynn Public Schools after a career of 33 and a half years. I was a basketball coach at Lynn English High School, assistant basketball coach. I started the girls basketball booster club while I was there on coaching the basketball team, because the girls didn't have uniforms and they needed new uniforms and so forth and so on. So I've been invested in Lynn my whole life. I was born in Lynn. I went to schools in Lynn. I graduated in Lynn from Lynn English High School with Buzzy Barton in the back. He always teasing me about that in 1972. I taught 33 and a half years. I taught science. I love kids. I love teaching. And what I love the most about being on the school committee is listening to parents, to teachers, and have an invested interest in the students in Lynn. My son attended all Lynn public schools, graduated in 2013. The biggest problem I think we have right now is the overcrowded issue. I was very, very disappointed when we didn't get the 2 new schools in, and I am going to work really hard to make sure that we get the schools that our students deserve in the city. I would just respectfully ask you for one of your 6 votes so I can continue my work on the school committee. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. My name is my name is Natasha Battery, and I am running for school committee in Lynn. And I've been in Lynn for 19 years. And the reason that I decided to run for school committee is I'm a mom of 5 children, 3 boys, 2 girls, ages 10 through 21. And the reason I decided to run I was always really involved in their schooling and on the PTOs. And one day while I was sitting at a PTO meeting, I suggested that we get a playground in the elementary school. And they said, no, we couldn't have a playground because that would bring drugs into the schools. They told me to go talk to the people downtown. I was like, well, who are these people downtown? And they meant the politicians. So I said, well, I don't want to go talk to anybody. I want to be one of those people making the decisions at the table. And as a parent, I really want to work on parent engagement, community schools, and special needs advocacy. I was the first in my family to go to college, and then I went to law school. And so as an attorney, I feel like I have a lot to bring to the table. I really want to work on bringing some more money into the schools and work on grants, because I do feel like there is money out there. We just have to apply for it. I am an honest person and very invested in Lynn because I've been here almost 20 years. I'm raising my kids here, and I really believe that Lynn has a lot of potential. And I know that I can bring a lot to the school committee if you're willing to give me a chance. I'm number 10 on the ballot, all the way on the bottom, so please, I know everybody's voting for the mayor, but please start at the bottom, because school committee is very important as well. Like, this is our kids. Like, there's nothing more important than our kids. The future is the kids of this city, and that is what I want to fight for, not just my kids, but your kids, your grandkids, and all kids in Lynn. So I'm number 10 on the ballot. Again, Natasha Battery, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jared Nicholson, and I'm in my first term on the Lynn School Committee, running for re-election. I just want to thank the organizers for putting this together. I really appreciate this opportunity, and thank all of you for being here. I'm running because I am so excited about the potential that we have in our city, and I really believe that for us to reach that potential, we need our kids to be able to reach their potential, and we do that in the public schools. I'm also running because I plan to raise a family here. I just got married last June, and am very excited to be hopefully starting a family and sending my future kids to the Lynn Public Schools. In terms of what I've done or what we'll do if elected, one of the things we did in my first term that I'm really proud of is we started a wrestling team in Lynn at the middle school and the high school varsity level. And that's a new program that boys and girls can now participate in after school, a big roster, kids of all sizes, and it was really a team effort to make that happen. We had support from the school department, from some of my other colleagues on the committee. We got advice from an outside nonprofit based in Boston who started similar programs. We raised money from the business community to buy the first mat, and we had teachers in the system who had wrestled in the past step up to coach. And I would really love the opportunity to be able to continue that kind of creative thinking, hard work, and collaboration in a second term. And as an attorney with a business background, as someone who speaks Spanish and is accessible and responsive, as someone who has a record of leadership and is already achieving results, I believe that I have a lot to offer to that work, and so would respectfully ask for one of your 6 votes on Tuesday. Thank you so much.
All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Elizabeth Gervasio, and I'm running for school committee in Lynn. I'm running for office because I have two kids in this public school systems right now. My daughter, who's 15 and went into Lynn English, and my son, who's 4 and special needs, and it's at Harrington University. Sorry, I just walked in and I'm really nervous now. I wasn't expecting to speak. So my son is at Harrington School. When my son was 2, he was diagnosed on the autism spectrum, and I had a really hard time figuring out what to do next and what that actually meant. And I was lucky that I had individuals that worked with me that were able to give me the information on what I should do in order to help him succeed in school. Now, as I was going through the IEP process and trying to get him the services needed, I kept thinking, I had people who were able to direct me. I had people that worked in the school system who were able to give me the information that I needed to help my child. What happens with the parents that don't have that? What happens with the parents that have language barriers? What happens with the parents that don't have the level of education or just don't know how to advocate for their children because they don't know what to ask for? The answer to that is they fall through the cracks a lot of the time. Not because the parents don't want to help their children, but because they actually don't know how to help their children. They don't know what to ask for, they don't know their rights. And as time has passed, that just kept kind of percolating in my brain, and I decided that I could make a difference, that I could try to reach out. That I could reach out to parents, and that I could try to provide them with the information necessary for them to help their kids. And that's actually one of the biggest things that I want to do as a school committee member. I want to make sure that we reach out to parents, that we empower them with information so they can be the biggest advocates for their kids. I want to make sure we get them involved in the school system. I want to make sure that we reach out to them, and if they're not responding to us, that we go to the places they congregate to and reach out to them so they can meet us and they can feel comfortable coming to the school system. And that's why I'm running for school committee.
Good evening, my name is Michael Satterwhite, and I'm a new candidate for Lynn School Committee. I'm running because I have a kid who's 9 years old and is enrolled in Lynn Public Schools, so I have a vested interest in the success of our schools. I'm a product of Lynn. I'm a product of Lynn Public Schools. My father is Marvin Williams. My mom is Brenda Beal. My wife is the granddaughter of Ed and Amelia Battle. We have a lot of history in the city, and I hope to bring good to the city into our kids. I do have great ideas, I believe, on how to improve our schools. We hear many stories from all of the school committee members where we've heard that many families are having challenges interacting with our schools and getting the services and whatnot from the school system. And I'm the only candidate that has actually submitted a solution, which would be creating a subcommittee. The school committee was created to inform the community in which we serve, and that's not happening. What's happening is if you have an issue, you're talking to the principal. The principal's the teacher's talking to the principal's talking to the superintendent, and whatever funnels through that gets to the school committee. And then that's what we believe are the issues surrounding our schools, and that's not how it should be. The community should have a direct connect to the school committee. And that subcommittee, which would be involving the community as a whole, will give us the ability to hear from the community in which we serve. And that will include involving student government bodies in our high schools. That will include involving PTOs and PTAs and throughout our public schools. That will include involving daycare and childcare services, because they know the number of students we're going to get. They know the type of students that we're going to get and the challenges that the Lynn Public Schools are going to face. I'm the only candidate that has actually brought up the fact that we have many private Catholic schools in our city. In Haverhill, one closed down, and they had to figure out what to do. We don't have a backup plan for that. So it's important to be prepared, and I want to be able to do that by being elected for a school committee. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Wayne Wolsey. I'm the Ward 1 counselor. I'm born and raised in Lynn, raised my family in Lynn. I'm running for re-election because I enjoy this job. I'm working hard at it. I return all my calls, and I'm very effective at what I do, not just in Ward 1, but in the entire city. I enjoy what I do, and I think we're doing a good job as a council. My area, Ward 1, is from Western Ave all the way up to Union Hospital. It's the largest ward in the city, and it encompasses more area than any other ward in the city. What I will do if I'm re-elected, one of the challenges that we have as an elected is to find ways of funding, not to turn to raising taxes, but look for other ways, innovative ways for funding, and that's what I specialize in. All of the parks in my ward, I've made an effort to have them redone. Flax Pond was done at over $500,000 in improvements, federal and state funds. Gowdy Park was done, no cost to the taxpayer. I'm leading the charge in moving the city to become a green community. If we become a green community, we'll receive $500,000 in state grants. I want to change out all the street lights to LED lights, better lighting, safer streets, easier maintenance, and we'll receive $250,000 a year in grants from the state for that as well. And I thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Wayne Losey, Ward 1.
We do have a race for Ward 2 city councilors.
Hi, my name is Gina OToole, and I'm a new candidate. I'm not just a new candidate, I'm a first-time candidate. I live in the Fay Estate, which is on Daigle Road, and I'm very excited. I'm running for Ward 2. I'm absolutely thrilled. In my neighborhood, the district, it is Allen Ave, it is Grave Street, it is Archer Street, it is French Street, it is Western Ave, it is Eastern Ave, it is Chatham, it is Chestnut. It is a very large ward. I think it's the second largest ward in the city. What I will do, I've had a meeting with DPW Commissioner Andy Hall on September 28th. I met with him because the -- concern that I've had heard from the constituents are maintenance of their streets, roads, sidewalks, curbing, and trees. And I went to meet with him, and I gave him a list of over 40 concerns. And the last couple of days, I've been out replacing my signs because the storm blew them around and they destroyed them. And I'm absolutely thrilled to hear that DPW has taken hold of the list that I gave them, and they've gone out and they've handled a couple of the concerns. And I'm really happy to be able to be that voice for the constituents of the ward. And I'm thrilled to say that I will continue to be the ward counselor that hears and listens to the responses to the constituents of the ward. As a ward counselor, the core responsibility is constituent service, and if elected, I will continue that, and I will be a full-time ward counselor. In accordance to the Lynn City Charter, I have to take a leave of absence because I'm an employee of the Lynn Public School. I am doing this, and I will be taking a cut in pay and a cut towards my retirement. I also will be able to be available to take you and be with you every step of the way when you have a concern, and I will continue this, and I will work with whoever is elected mayor, and I will work with whoever the rest of the council is that is to be elected. So I respectfully ask you for your vote comes November 7th for Ward 2 Councilor. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to thank the Brotherhood for putting this together tonight. It's great to see such a packed house. My name is Rick Stoddard, and I'm seeking the Ward 2 Councilor position. I'm a lifelong Lynn resident, grew up until I was 10 years old on the next street over, Empire Street, until we moved to Neptune Towers, and I grew up there through my high school years. I'm a local business owner for over 35 years. I'm a commercial property owner. I'm a former teacher. I worked 13.5 years at Lynn Tech as a teacher there. I served six years on the Lynn School Committee with a great track record of addressing constituent concerns and parent concerns. We got to build a new Marshall Middle School. We got to reopen the machine shop program at Tech, and we're still working on opening new programs there. As Mrs. OToole said, we have a very vast and diverse ward in Ward 2, from the Fay Estates all the way down around English High, the east side of the Highlands, going down into parts of Tempson Street, Williams Ave, Parrott Street. So it's a pretty open and diverse ward with many diverse problems, from trees and streets, as Mrs. OToole said, to drug dealing and noise concerns and all that. The only way we're going to be able to address our concerns, and you've probably read a lot about it, heard a lot about it, is the financial crisis that the city sees themselves in right now. 75% of our tax burden falls on residential tax owners, residential property owners in Lynn. We need to raise our commercial property tax base. We hear it from every candidate. I'm the only candidate as a commercial property owner, as a member of the EDIC board, as a member of the Chamber of Commerce board, as a person with experience bringing businesses and jobs into Lynn. I chair the Chamber Workforce Development Committee to raise the standard of living for Lynn residents through job training programs. I want to be your next Ward 2 councilor because I'm the one with the experience. We cannot go backwards in this city. We need to go forwards. We have a slate of open land down on the Linway that needs to be developed. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is George Memeteus, and I am #1 on the ballot. So, a little history about me. I'm an immigrant from Greece. My wife's an immigrant, and I grew up in Warren Street. So I feel the pain of a lot of the people, and I'm a Lynn taxpayer. I'm a homeowner. I'm married. My wife works at Lynn Public Schools. Rupali, a lot of people probably know her. She's well known in the city it's been over 20 years. I served in the Lynn Council on Aging for many years, serving the seniors, and I feel their pain with the taxes increasing and there's no relief in sight. And I ran for Councilor At-Large in 2009. I got almost 5,400 votes. I missed it by a few hundred. And I wasn't going to run again. But my wife says, George, you got to run. This city's in trouble. You know, we need diversity. And as an immigrant, my wife's an immigrant, we need diversity. We need new leadership. And that's why I'm here. A little about me. I got my bachelor's degree in business management. So I know a lot about business. I own a business company. I own a real estate company. I'm finishing my law degree right now, my Juris Doctor. I got 1 more year. So that's what I'm working on right now. But the main thing is, I just think that a lot of the people, it's having a very hard time. The rents are very high, the taxes are really high, and we need relief. And I think it's time to get new people on the board that really switch it up a little bit, because it just seems we have the same people on the board.
Could you just speak into the mic? People up back can't hear. Just speak directly. It's not the best mic in the world, so speak directly into it.
Okay.
All right.
But basically, we need solutions. We don't need taxes. And right now, there's no solution. We have a deficit of $8 million and rising, and there's no relief in sight. Where's the money coming from? Right now, they're going to increase the taxes, and we don't need that. Right now, my taxes, my house, when I bought it, was $6,000. Now, it's almost $9,200. So we need diversity, we need new leadership, and thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Darren Sayre. I'm the Ward 3 City Councilor. I've been the councilor for 12 years. I was elected as council president this year, so my job has increased as councilor. I grew up in Ward 3. The streets that include Ward 3 from Linshore Drive, Lewis Street, Ocean Street, Easton Ave, Coburn Street, Williams Ave, Timpson Street, Chatham, Chestnut. We have parks. We have Kiley Park, Williams Ave, Clark Street, Goldfish Pond area. This is a beautiful area in the city, and it's probably the most diversified ward, not just in Lynn, but probably in the entire country. Many, many people from all over the world live here, work here, bring up their families. I'm 7th generation. I grew up in Ward 3. I've gone to Ward 3 schools here and graduated. Marshall Middle School is one of my biggest accomplishments, along with Buzzy. I've brought in over $200 million worth of development into Ward 3 alone. I put in 40 to 50 hours a weekend as your counselor. Not only do I return your phone call, but I'll show up at your door. I'll knock on your door to find out exactly what your issues are. I look you right in the eye, and I'm not going to give you any baloney. If I can do it, I will. I'm not going to make any promises except for one. I will work as hard as any counselor, or maybe even harder. I'm telling you, I am there 24/7. My family puts in a lot of time along with me. I humbly ask you to vote for me. I am number 2 on the ballot. I think I've done a great job up to this point. I look at the future of our city. The new industry is going to be the Linway. That's our development. It's going to create jobs and billions of dollars worth of taxes. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marvin Williams. I'm running for Ward 5 City Council. Ward 5 includes all of downtown, Brimblecombe, Chase, North Common, Hanover, a little bit of Washington, and some portion of Pine Hill, so like B Street, Thistle Street, Everett, Hancock Terrace. So if you live around those general areas, I'm your guy. The reason why I'm running for Ward 5 City Council, this is my second time doing it. The first time I was 22, and I was really upset with what was going on in the city. I came back from school, and I'm watching the rents go sky high. I'm watching the property taxes go sky high. So a lot of young people, a lot of people working 2-3 jobs don't even know if they're gonna have a place to live. I walk around downtown every night, and I still find people overdosing, not getting the treatment that they need. And then the thing that I think that infuriated me the most was the fact that we have a city and we don't know anything that's going on. We don't have an understanding of what the budget is like. We don't have an understanding of our mayor or our city councils. People don't even know who the city councilors are. So the thing I'm running for is I want to run to put power back in our hands. I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing this for glory. I'm doing this to ensure that I have a future and that my mom and everybody who's been working so hard has a chance to succeed in this in the city. And the way I'm going to change that is by creating a constituent services team. Right now, when you have a city council, you just have one person. I want to have a whole team made up of old people, young people, homeowners, renters, and we're going to work together to find the solutions, because not one person's going to have the answer, and I'm going to look to the wisdom of the community to lead me. And second, we got to look at getting regular monthly meetings. I mean, my mom's lived in downtown for over 20 years. Not a single councilor has knocked on her door. We need to make sure we have regular monthly meetings, and that's what I'm going to do if I get in. The power is in our hands, and we're going to make the changes happen together. That's the only way. We can't just elect people and go back to sleep. So again, if you live around those areas, I humbly ask for your vote. I'm really passionate about this. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you all have a good afternoon.
Hi everyone, I'm Joanna Kudus. I am the Ward 5 counselor. My district, as Marvin said, we go from the Arts and Cultural District to part of the Linway. We have Fraser Field, I have Manning Field, Weston Ave, the streets off of there, Pine Grove Cemetery, and a portion of Pine Hill. What have we done for the city? Basically, we work with our constituents. Right now we have the project, the Beacon site going on. We did a lot down the Arts and Cultural District with the murals. We try to work together, and as Marvin said, community meetings. It's up to residents in certain buildings to get meetings going. I probably do about 6 meetings a month with my constituents. But it's not as if we can go in and say, let's have a meeting. It's the private buildings. You have to get the residents together and form a committee and invite us there. And then we will be there. Any board will do it. Again, this is what I do. I do about 6 a month. I do some during the day. Some buildings I go twice. I go in the afternoon with the group, then I go at night. I'm considering, please, I hope you will vote for me next Tuesday on the 7th. And I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing, listening to the residents, working with my residents, trying to get more streets repaved. And as most of you know, that if you know me, I'm not a big public speaker, so please consider me next Tuesday. Thank you.
Well, I feel like I'm home. My name is Buzzy Barton. I'm running for re-election to Councilor At-Large. And if you really know Buzzy Barton, I have to have this suit back before 7 o'clock. Hey, it's nice to be here, and it's like, what issues am I going to talk about? There's so many. As soon as I walk into this hall, I see Donald Smith's not here. He's missing. And that makes me think of Donald Smith, because Donald Smith is the only black man to ever work in City Hall. The bad news is he's been retired for 20 years and there hasn't been another one. So when everybody gets up here and talks about Lynn's a diverse city, well, City Hall is not a diverse place, all right? It's time for a lot of changes. And I've been in 3 terms now, and I can't change it alone. But I'm trying every day, you know, to do the best for everybody in the city of Lynn, not just minorities. And you heard about the schools. We need 2 new schools in the city. Well, us people that are in office, we failed the kids because we didn't sell it to the public. We have to get out there, as we did for the Marshall Middle School. Me and Darren Sear, we went door to door for months, getting everybody on board, having cookouts and whatever, just to get the Marshall Middle School there. And it's a beautiful school now. And we had to take 2 houses by eminent domain. And it was no problems doing it because everybody was on board. Thank you.
It's certainly tough to have to follow Buzzy after that round of applause, but he gets my applause too for the work that he's done for so many years to represent the entire Lynn community. My name's Bryan Field. I'm a first-time candidate for Councilor At-Large here in the city, and it's nice to look around the room and see so many familiar faces and friends. And before I just begin, I want to acknowledge the senior class from Lynn English, Mr. Tidmarsh's class. They've been volunteering in so many campaigns throughout this election season, including Teresa Demers, who's been helping me, and Bridget Sanchez, the class president, who's been helping. And I just want to acknowledge them for being here tonight, for all the work that they've done to assist all the other candidates throughout this election. More about myself is why I'm running is because I know I can make a difference in the community. I've always been serving this community in all different aspects, as a parent, as a coach, as a husband, as a family man, as a local businessman. I'm a funeral director at the Solomini Funeral Home. I've been at the funeral home for over 20 years. And looking around the room, I've already served many of the families that are here, whether you do know that I'm directly involved with your family, or behind the scenes where I'm the preparations manager, and I've overseen that for many years now. I've been involved, and it's not just showing up because it's an election year. I've always been in the community, in different churches, in different parts of the minority community, and every community. The more I learn from you and the more you welcome me, the better I'm able to serve. And this is a chance for me to continue serving, and it's part of who I am, and it's part of what my family allows me to do. They've been supportive of me to be out here on the election campaign. They've been supportive of my profession as a funeral director. It takes a lot of hours to be a funeral director, and it takes a lot of commitment by my family to allow me to say to them that there's another family that needs me more. I can't be with you right now. And that's something that I've always done. So whether it's 2 in the afternoon or 2 in the morning, my phone's always by my side, and I'm able to serve you. And I hope to be able to do that and serve the city of Lynn that I love so much on the City Council. I asked for one of your 4 votes on Tuesday. I'm at the bottom of the ballot. Again, my name's Bryan Field. Thank you.
Thank you, Darrell. I'm Brian Lapierre, and I proudly serve you as a Councilor At-Large, just completing my first term, citywide office throughout the city of Lynn, all 28 precincts. Born and raised here in Lynn, went to Lynn schools, right down the street, the Brickett Elementary, the old Marshall Middle School on Porter Street, and then a graduate of Lynn English High School before going over to Salem State and getting my bachelor's and master's and CAGS degree over there. So I'm a father, I'm a parent, I'm an educator, I'm a community leader, I'm a taxpayer, and I'm here representing you as your Councilor at Large. I think we redefined what it meant to run for elections and campaigns 2 years ago, when I humbly before you came and knocked on your door and told you what I was going to do. The promises I made are promises that I can keep. I'm getting the job done for everyone. I return my calls. You can find me on social media. We're building the city, and the city of Lynn is making great progress. But we need everyone's help, and we need everyone's, more than help, input on the issues that matter to you most. And they are cleaner streets, safer neighborhoods, making sure we attract businesses that are going to stay here and improve Lynn, and making sure that taxes are kept affordable for the average working class family and household. So I'm as I said, very proud to stand before you. I had my first function here when the Community Brotherhood was just a brand new sort of place that opened in 1994. It was in early 1995. And I want to commend the board and how you've kept this brotherhood not only open, but a community neighborhood facility open to the public, open to folks for the last 22 years. It's been a real gem in East Lynn and Ward 3. And I would be remiss if I didn't say how happy I am to work with colleagues Buzzy Barton, also from Ward 3, and my colleague to my left, Hong Net. We are a good team that work together, and we're looking for your, and hopefully humbly asking for one of your 4 votes next Tuesday on November 7th. Thank you.
It's very nice to welcome you too, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Darren, for the opportunity. My name is Hong Net. As most of you know, that I was born in Cambodia. I came here many years ago. I came to Lynn by myself, and I got married with my wife here. So now we have many families here. I see a lot of my nieces, my nephews, because when you walk to the community school, so everyone called me uncle, so I'm very honored. So, yes, I'm your uncle. Right, Uncle Hong, right. So, yeah, I'm very honored to serve our city for the past 6 years, and I would love the opportunity to continue to serve our great city alongside you, because I want to build a more inclusive city and also to strengthen public safety, education, and economic growth. And I really mean, because we need more than ever now. And ever since I got elected, we were able to create the first Human Rights Commission for our city. That means everyone have the right to participate in anything that in our city. And we see so many people are getting involved right now in our political process, our voting process, and I registered over 1,000 people to vote. These people had never voted before, never wanted to participate in political process. So now they are brave enough to walk to the city hall to ask for me, ask for anybody in city for help. I'm very proud for that accomplishment. And just one more thing, that the YMCA is coming, because with my help as the chairman of public property, with the president council, with the law department, and the YMCA director, so we are able to build a brand new YMCA building. We are very proud. We should be able to proud. We attract 20,000 people come to our city every year. So looking forward to continue to do the job, and please consider me one of your 4 votes November 7th. Thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is Councilor Nicola Coppola. Many of you know me as the owner of John's Roast Beef and Seafood in Lynn. In 1974, my father, mother, and my sister decided to come to Lynn, Massachusetts. I was living in Washington Street in a triple-decker, attended Washington Community School, lived on Vine Street. After 5 years not seeing my parents working in the leather factory in the labor factories, we decided to buy a home in West Lynn on Robinson Street and attended Sacred Heart School. Then I went on to St. Mary's. 8 years later, my family bought a business, invested. The American dream, right? Immigrants coming into this country, finding labor, jobs, working, creating a job, investing in this city. That's what we've done for 45 years. I've employed over 120 kids. I began a program, a fundraising program with John Hoffman, and given over 1,000 awards to all athletes in the city of Lynn from all 4 high schools in the city of Lynn. I'm proud of that. But why I'm here, why am I running? I'm running citywide, Councilor At-Large. Because for 7 years when I was the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, experts, economists, educators, regional members have told us that, hey, Lynn is failing in many areas. Lynn is the largest city without a city planner. Lynn is the largest city in the state without a planning department. Lynn does not have a central grant writing department that can help us fund why we're here today, because we only have 164 police officers, we have decrepit school buildings falling apart, and we have fire departments closing, fire buildings closing. So before I can find the solution. We need to identify the problem. That's why I'm running. You guys need to hear the truth, and you need business people in office that can bring good initiatives to the city. Good initiatives that can move the city forward and generate revenue. It's not about just expanding the tax base. It's about bringing jobs back in the city. We are a manufacturing city, and we got away from that. We've lost over 35,000 jobs in the last 50 years, and we've replaced it only with housing. We need good paying jobs. Thank you. I'm Councilor number 1 on the ballot. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? My name is John Ladd. I'm running for Councilor At-Large. I am a new candidate. This is my first run. I am a lifelong resident of the city of Lynn. I'm a homeowner in the city. And more importantly, I'm a business owner in the city. And the only candidate running with a real estate background, real estate business background. Lynn is in such a unique spot right now. We are at a tipping point where our budget is an absolute disaster. However, we need business owners on the city council to focus on the development of the city. Echoing a few of our colleagues here, the commercial development is actually going to be key in improving our funding for the city. And improving our commercial tax base is going to improve closing the funding gaps to our police and fire departments, to our education, to our building our new schools. We can't do anything with, again, removing all the commercial property, not having jobs in the city. As Tassel just said, we need to bring the jobs back into the city. And with commercial development, we are going to do just that. We need to expand on our STEM programs with our education department. Again, none of that can be done without increasing our commercial tax base. We need business owners with a mindset. We face these challenges every single day owning a business. I built a business from the ground up in one of the worst economical downturns, in a real estate business and construction business, no less, in one of the worst economic downturns for the market. We survived. We know how to budget. We know the tough sacrifices that need to be made. And not having that experience, I probably never would have run. It's the business background and the love for the city that's going to do it. My name is John Ladd. I'm number 7 on the ballot for Councilor At-Large. I respectfully ask for one of your 4 votes to join the city council and bring my business background to the city. Thank you.
Again, my name's Jamie Figueroa. I'm the youngest person running for Councilor At-Large here in the entire city of Lynn. I want to tell you a little bit about me. I was born in Puerto Rico in 1989, was moved here to Boston South End in Villa Victoria, where I was raised. In the year 2000, we were displaced because of their urban renewal. So I know what it feels like to pay high rents. In 2003, I ended up here in this beautiful city in Lynn. I attended classical high school. Sorry, Bulldogs back there, I'm a Ram. Yeah, so I attended, Alright, so I attended, right, there you go. Where's my West Lynn people at? Come on, man. Oh, my time, wait, my time. So, why I'm running? Easy, because like Buzzy Barton, I went to public schools. I know the public struggle. I've been displaced, I've been homeless, I know what it feels like. I dropped out of high school, was fortunate enough to get it together, got my GED, ended up at North Shore Community College where I became Vice President of Student Government, and upon graduation received a scholarship to go to Suffolk University, where I'm graduating now in December with a bachelor's. One of the most important things I see is rent rising in Lynn. When more than 50% of Lynn pay more than 50% of their income on rent is unacceptable. What we need to do is what Boston does. Every new residential development is a mandatory 13% affordable working class apartments, and that's what we need in this city. We need to protect the diversity in this city. Look at this room. In this city, the 36 languages spoken, City Hall should be a mirror image of that, not facing my back. Let's get to work, elect people that's going to get to work for our community. I'm Jamie Figueroa, and I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.